so I'm gonna get a little scientific today, but I think you guys are gonna like it. So everything we're seeing out there right now, right, in diet culture is about insulin resistance and all these shots for managing your blood glucose and high cortisol levels causing all of your weight issues and things along those lines. So today I wanna get a little deep into the science behind kind of what they're talking about, and I want to give you a simple, tiny little task that you can do each morning that is going to help you balance those hormones and keep them happy so you're feeling great and getting the results that you want. Okay, so when we wake up in the morning, the majority of us, and not everybody for sure, but the majority of us are looking for our morning fix. So whether it's our hot cup of coffee, whether it's our iced latte, or if it's your morning tea, we're all typically looking for that morning boost. And I would say the majority of us, and me certainly in the past, we typically have this coffee or this caffeine beverage in the morning before we actually eat our breakfast. So we're consuming our caffeine before there's anything actually in our stomach. So when we do that, our body has two physiological reactions to that stimulation on the empty stomach. So what it does, the caffeine, it's going to stimulate your central nervous system. And what that's going to do is make your adrenaline levels go up. Basically, it's getting you in fight or flight mode, like ready to rock, waking you up kind of thing. And when that happens, when your adrenaline levels go up, your liver is going to stimulate or release glucose into your bloodstream, which glucose is sugar. So even though you didn't eat anything yet, and even if your coffee was black, you didn't put anything in it, just the caffeine alone is going to increase your blood sugar levels, okay? So that's one physiological reaction. And then the second physiological reaction is that we have cortisol, right? Which we all know is our fight or flight hormone, right? And we naturally have a pattern in terms of what our cortisol is going to do in a 24-hour period. And actually in the morning, our cortisol levels should be at its peak. It should be its highest because our body is naturally trying to wake us up and get ready for the day. But when we have that coffee on an empty stomach, it is going to drastically increase that cortisol peak. So rather than it kind of being like a nice peak like this, it's like a whoop, up, straight up, and then coming back down kind of situation, okay? So having the coffee on the empty stomach, like I said, increases the sugar levels, even though you didn't eat anything, and is also increasing the cortisol levels, okay? So now when your cortisol levels are higher than they should be, sometimes they stay higher than they should be. Okay, and that's where we've heard of cortisol causing belly weight and weight gain around the midsection and blood pressure issues and all those lines, okay? And that's where we've also heard of having trouble stabilizing your blood sugar or insulin sensitivity. So even though you didn't eat anything, your blood sugar and your cortisol levels are up early in the morning because of the physiological reactions that you have. So causing that spike in both of those things can be affecting your hormone and your weight cycles just on its own by being too high. But then also think about it, what goes up must also come down. So how many of us deal with those afternoon crashes? So we talked about the blood sugar going straight up and the cortisol level coming straight up, and it causes that unnatural peak, and then boom, comes crashing down. Blood sugar goes crashing down. Cortisol level comes crashing down. You're exhausted, you're cranky, you're a little bit anxious, maybe a little jittery. I need another cup of coffee right now. Okay, so that is what can occur just by drinking your caffeine before you eat. Okay, so where I'm going with all this, but after all that science, okay, the tiniest little thing in your routine in the morning, if you can try not to consume your morning caffeine until after you've had your breakfast, you will not cause such a dramatic increase in the cortisol levels. You will not cause that dramatic spike in your blood sugar levels, and then you're going to avoid those levels being too high, and you're for sure going to avoid those levels crashing down, and you should feel a lot more stable throughout the rest of your afternoon because you're avoiding that up and crash back down. Okay, so moving forward this week, if you feel like you're struggling with your energy levels, insulin resistance, you've been gaining weight around the midsection, you just don't understand what's going on, this is just a tiny little thing that you can try. Hold off on the coffee, have some water in the morning, get some breakfast inside of you first, and then have your morning cup of joe. All right, guys, give it a try this week and let me know if you feel any difference. Everybody have a great week. Bye.